So gas stations, so I know this comes up sometimes as a controversial issue. I don't know if that's been Osoyoos' experience, but we thought we'd float this to see if you had any perspective on this or preference. So at the moment, your highway commercial and your service commercial zones allow for gas stations as a permitted right, so there is no approval required from council. But just given their nature and their impact on adjacent parcels and the fact that they are handling flammable or hazardous materials, maybe having those as a permitted use isn't appropriate. So ironically, I think in this case, we're actually asking council to maybe take a more inflexible approach to service stations, but it does give you control over where they locate, when they locate, and maybe some concerns. So what we're proposing is that for the existing gas stations that occur within town, and this is my understanding of the four that do exist. I know there's the Petro-Canada, but I believe that's out on Osoyoos Indian Band land.
Yes.
So these are the four that exist. These are the zones that apply to them. We simply introduce a new zone for gas stations and apply that zone to these parcels. And in doing so, what would happen then is anybody wanted to do a new gas station in the future, we have to come into council to get a rezoning and demonstrate that that's a suitable location for the gas station.
Go ahead, Councillor Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Question would be if one of the service stations burned down, or let's say next door we have the tire shop, and the guy's renting, he has a fire, and then all of a sudden, what happens? Does he just get grandfathered back in the zone, they can rebuild? Or is this where it comes in, a certain percentage burns and then they have to move it out of town?
Well, that would be a policy question for council. What we're proposing is that the new zone would allow for a gas station. And if we apply it to the existing gas stations, if they burn down, that zone would allow them to redevelop. No questions asked. But I mean, you could certainly render existing gas stations legally non-conforming, in which case then they would have to come back and ask for approval through rezoning. But that's not, I mean, it's an option, but it's not what staff are recommending.
Okay, the only one I'm concerned about is the tire shop, because it's not a gas station. We identified these four zones.
Is it?
We have a tire shop next door here, right on the highway.
Okay, this is not one of these properties shown up here.
No, it's not.
It's just something we should think about addressing.
Yeah, I'll take a note of that one and just see
Okay.
what the proposed zone changes, how that might impact it.
Thank you.
It's on Highway 3 and 74th is the cross section there.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're getting close to the end. Okay, so